Good evening, everyone. This is going to be another intense race. Welcome aboard to the Catalina Wine Mixer event. This is PWW, hosted, of course, by Prestige Worldwide as this event, and we are live here at the Sakir Circuit here in Bahrain. It's myself, Jota, here for this event tonight. Another fantastic showing. 17 people here for this PWW event. Just about to see Lord Gamer get going for his first lap of Q1. And if you're familiar with Formula One, you'll know that the rules are as follows. Those that are outside of the top 15 are knocked out of Q1 before we lose the next 5 that will not get through to the Q3 event for that pole position shootout. Sure, I don't have to go through the rules with you, but it is the Bahrain circuit, and it will make for some very, very intense racing indeed, as it usually does anyway, as we saw in F1 2021. An intense race between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Almost ended in tears. Hopefully won't end in tears for this man here, Lord Gamer. So he's just heading through turn 11 now. It's going to be a corner that these drivers are just going to have to keep an eye out on. Last thing they want to see is track limits issues, which I'm sure they'll be all able to avoid if they keep on it. As he heads it close now down to turn 14 and 15. 2 corners, believe it or not, in this one. And the Aston Martin just trying to keep it close and steady. But he'll come across the line now. He'll be setting the benchmark time for everyone to follow. 1 minute 27.114. We do have a Mercedes of Duffy's coming down the line now to set his lap time, and Duffy's coming across the line with a good lap indeed, actually, as he sets the benchmark with that 26.9. Got the Williams now of Iron Fox coming across into now turn 13. And he's looking to try and set a lap himself here. He comes now into turn 14-15. And fellow Coco Patriot racing the number 21. He'll come across the line now and takes that 1 minute 29.756. More time to find, I think, in that driver. No limit, no EQL, also struggling as well, as he sets a non-preliminary lap time, we'll have to say, 1 minute 52.128. One of the moments with SC Boy. And the Red Bull driver looking to make an impression if he can. It's through that tricky corner of 9 and 10. Very easy to lock up round here. Crispy setting the lead lap time in Q1 at the moment in the Williams. 1 minute 26.437. The Red Bull absolutely chucking the car through the corners, and he'll be happy if he keeps on with that one, because he's obviously got a purple second sector. Real Logic managing to join us, and McLaren be happy that he's able to join us. We'll keep an eye out on that Red Bull. He'll be one of the drivers to set a lap if he can get into the top 2. We'll be happy, and that's exactly what's happened. 126.721. He's 3/10 off of Crispy at the moment, though. So we will certainly have to monitor that one. Bailey also joining us as well. Might be in for quite a big lobby here tonight, actually. Up to 19 people. That'd be it for a fascinating race indeed. Here's Mers in the Alpha Tauri. And then the 69 looking to try and get a better race than he did last week. So we'll see how the AlphaTauri does. It comes through the final couple of corners, turn 14 and 15 respectively. Keep it close to the line if you can. 1 minute to 28.351. You'd think certainly not going to be looking safe with that one. Because of course, remember, with every person that does join into this lobby, does extend the knockout zone. Now 3 people will be knocked out as it stands. Here's F1 Dark, the Haas driver, number 2, looking to set a benchmark himself at the moment. Too close to the curb, but missing his apex ever so slightly. I think just trying to avoid the curbs at the moment. Remember, these drivers have to adapt to the new handling model that Codemasters have now released as a patch to everyone within the community on Xbox, PlayStation and PC. New handling model makes, for some people, actually describing it as a completely new game now. Think of that what you will. By the way, Dark come across the line, P7 for him, 28.3. He'll be looking over his shoulders at the moment because Merz just took it in behind by 31 hundredths of a second. As I believe Silk Weaver just coming across the line there with a 1 minute 27.284 on with the Red Bull. Red Bull looking fairly sharp actually at the moment with the second and fifth as it stands at the moment. We do have a bunch of drivers still needing to set a lap at the moment, and 8 of them to be exact. 4 people now will be knocked out as it stands at the moment, as we've got Parondi at the moment on an out lap. Arguably the fastest driver at Austria, but not the most consistent by any stretch of the imagination. He struggled around Austria, a couple of spins. Very, very much unlike Parondi. And he'll be setting off now in that Haas as he tries to get himself onto the board. Maybe looking to try and keep himself pumping here. Try and get himself back into this mix. Second place at the moment, second in the championship after 1 round. We'll follow Parondi actually. He heads through the second sector. A little bit of a lift, looking to just stay off of the curbs by the looks of things. Again, not particularly comfortable. He does continue now through into turn 9 and 10. Easy to lock up. Mixes his apex ever so slightly. Maybe a loss of time. He'll continue to power on now as he heads through into 11. Oh, that's a bit of a wiggle. Again, the Haas still not comfortable at the moment. As the Brazilian does get the fastest second sector, but you can certainly see he's going to be squirrely here, and if he's going to continue like that, he's in for a bit of a tough race, this one. 29 laps around here. So it is going to be a tough one. Found a couple of corners, though, 14 and 15. We'll see how far ahead he is, if at all. Will he beat Crispy as he comes across the line? Certainly does. 26.4, but you can see only just beating Crispy. 30, well, it looks like to me actually less than that. Actually, 28 thousandths of a second separating him from Crispy. Ultimately, a very, very close Q1 between them two. Is going to make for a very interesting, I think, event. Bailey needs to get on the board here, late starter, and he is actually weaving his tyres to get have another go at this one by the looks of things. So this preliminary lap time that you're seeing here will be very much not going to be what you'd expect. Oh, that's a big spin though from the Alfa Romeo. He'd barely gotten going. And surely he's going to have to bail on this one. Is he going to give it a go? He is, but he's going to be massively compromised on speed into turn 1, and he's going to be losing all of that time. But I think the Alfa Romeo knows he needs to find some time. See who does into 1. Tyres will be cold, and you can see it. He is very, very squirrely on the line, on the curbs. Very nicely taken. DRS open. Billy does need to set something here. Even if it's not going to be very representative of his pace. Of course, all that mistake in turn 1, I'd have a feeling that purple sector's not legitimate. So he does now heads into the very cute corner of 8. Then 9 and 10, again, easy to lock up. And he has locked up going through that corner, but actually hits his apex quite well, does the Alfa Romeo. Solid second sector so far, actually, from the Alfa, especially considering the mistake going out the final corners just before starting his lap. Crispy retires in the pits from P2, and I would as well, actually. Very good lap time for him. Feels confident he's through. Oh, that's a bit of a snap of oversteer as they head through 13. The Alfa Romeo looking to just continue what was a very good second sector here. He's going to have to keep it steady through 14 and 15. He made the mistake last time. But very well taken on the actual lap. He comes across the line now, puts himself straight to P3 with a 26.7. He was compromised on that run as well, and Bailey, actually with what you could consider a bit of a conservative lap considering that mistake, might be in the mix a little bit here. Here comes the Ferrari of Veyron. Not Bugatti pace at the moment for him though, at 27.0. He'd be happy with that for Q1, but certainly in Q2 he's going to be looking over his shoulder. The AlphaTauri that's just come in, the dude. Host of the session and host of this Catalina wine mixer event here, hosted by PWW. And the McLaren of Logic in 5th. His teammate yet to set a lap at the moment in the drop zone. Yeah, I got Iron Fox, Clout, Luciano and Supply Raptor. Luciano and Supply Raptor showing the pace in Austria, sorry. But Luciano putting himself straight into the mix with that P3, 126.7. Remember, Bailey's was a compromised 26.7 as well. 3 drivers in the 26.7s. That's going to make for a very, very interesting race if that pace continues to match. Supply Raptor elected to come into the pits for a fresh set of tyres. Got very limited time to get out there and have a go at this here. And here's Mers. He is certainly a driver people are going to have to keep an eye out on here because he is in the drop zone as it stands at the moment. As we have Lord Gamer now, the new top runner in this qualifying session, beating Perondi. And the first person to get to the 26.3s as well. May as well keep a very firm eye on his position though at the moment because he's beating F1 Dark at the moment by 29 thousandths of a second. Purple second sector for the AlphaTauri though. As he heads through first 14 into 15, number 69 looking to try and get himself out of the danger zone at the moment. Well, it'll be a good event for him if he can do anyway. He could try and get himself out of the drop zone. Oh, he does, but only just as well. He does actually improve his lap time by quite a significant chunk, but it's not enough as it stands at the moment. Only just beating Dark, but Dark on an invalid lap here, so he's going to be on a slower one. FXB Armory in the Alpine. Also on an out lap as well alongside Iron Fox. Chow and Supply Raptor just leaving the pits as well. Last lap dash now for those bottom 4. We need to get something going out of the blocks here. This man though leading the charge at the moment in the Aston Martin. Old Gamer doing his team justice and doing a bit of bidding for a potential race win here as it stands at the moment. He's absolutely smashing Perondi's lap time by just under half a tenth. Smashing his own lap time by a country mile as well, as we've got Yellow Flags waved in all sectors at the moment. The Red Bulls just choosing exactly where they want to go here. SC Boy and Silk Weaver. SC Boy just wants to sort of get on with it here, I suspect. He's just getting on with it now. He's going to be giving a toe to his teammate, actually. We did see the Red Bulls working quite well, actually, in this situation. And he tucks out of the way, actually. So this is good work there from Team Red Bull. Giving his teammate a little bit of a helping hand, currently in 12th at the moment. Certainly looking behind him at the moment. Make sure that he isn't going to be anywhere near that drop zone of Q1. Number 8 just keeping it steady, going past the Fire Marshal's post as they head through this long, complex section of turn 5 through 7. We're through to 8. And then through 9 into 10. Very well taken, actually. Actually went a little bit over the apex, you think there. Flips getting out of the way. Most choosing to pit at the moment as it stands, as he actually might be, I think, pretty much running out of time here to have another go at this one. So he is certainly in danger here. Dark has improved his lap time, but not by enough. He's still in the danger zone here. He will be safe as it stands, assuming that the Alfa Romeo of Chout and the Alpine of Marie and the Williams of Iron Fox get going here. The Silk Weaver has actually abandoned his lap, so he's happy with his present situation. The other Red Bull also choosing to do the same, and he's pile driving almost into the pit lane Part Ferme area, but no, he's absolutely fine. Drivers are not going to be happy about their situation at the moment. Here's another one. Marie is a bit of a shocker here. We usually see him down in this sort of bottom drop zone in Q1. Nor would be this man here actually as well. Supply Raptor currently down in that drop zone as well. But he's yet to set a lap here, so we're not actually familiar with his pace. We'll see as he comes across the line now, though, because he will get a lap time from him, and he's straight to 7th. So both McLarens on the 4th row of the grid with their relative pace at the moment, and another one into the 26.7s. So as it stands, Mers is going to be knocked out, and he has just been knocked out as well, because we've just had the lap time come in from Marie, and he's gone straight to P5. So we've had full confirmation, dropout confirmed. It's Mers, Dark, Iron Fox and Chout that will all be knocked out, unless one of them could set some kind of improved lap time here. And Chout trying to look for it at the moment. 33.6 are not a representative lap time for him as it stands, and still not able to improve, and he'll be starting at the back. Dark not able to improve. Mers not able to get out and have another go at this one as well. No Limit New EQL will be looking to try and find a way to improve his lap times if he wants to have any chance of getting through to Q3, but he'll be starting as it stands in P15 with that pace, but he is through to Q2. Q2 for Calypso as well in the Alpine. He'll be happy with that one as well. So both Alpines are through. That's him. Marie managed to get through the skin of his teeth. He didn't really with that 26.7, although he did do it last, really, of anyone. Needed to find his pace last minute. He got it. Now see if he can carry that momentum forward as they head through to Q2. Spyraptor will be happy with this one as well. He wasn't able to set a lap time at all, and he's managed to do it. And he is now going to probably return to the pits, retire the car, and we'll be able to get through with this Q2 session. Well, there you have it. Q1 over and done with. Lord Gamer, the American driver, will be happy with his performance in that Aston Martin. He leads the way so far with that 26.3. 26.4 for Perondi as well. Looking to bounce back from what was a bit of a shaky race, I think, in the end at Austria. But I think he's definitely a title contender, and he's in P2 as it stands. We're trying to find his way to P1. Crispy is in P3 with Luciano in P4. Marie in P5. Oh, my apologies as well. I'm not particularly familiar with some of the drivers, and I'm not familiar with Marie's starting blocks, if you will. It turns out she's female, so apologies for misgendering you there on that one. Bailey in 6th with Mods SC Boy in 7th, Raptor in 8th, Malogic in 9th. Duffy's in 10th, your knockout zone, looking as it's unfortunately predicted, really, with Mers, Dark, Iron Fox and Chout all out of the running. Bottom 5 out of this next event will be knocked out through into what will be an opportunity knock, so those starting in P11, because of course they will have a fresh tyre to start on. And of course they will have the freedom to basically pre-select exactly how they want their strategy to go, whilst competing with those that are forced to start on tyres if you get through to Q3. And they do that by being in the top 10. Your 15-minute start now. So 15 minutes for these drivers to get themselves going here. An opportunity knocks, as I said, for these drivers to choose really what tyres they want to go on. Weirdly enough, Duffy's in the Mercedes, currently pre-selecting an intermediate tyre in the bone-drying desert here of Bahrain. And currently that's the tyre he's now actually out on. And a bunch of other drivers also choosing to go onto the intermediate tyre as well. I'm not entirely as sure as to why, because I know it's the bone-dry desert. There is a possibility of rain falling, maybe around about 2%, but to me it looks very, very dry out there at the moment. I'm not exactly sure where, supposedly, we have these conditions at the moment. But these drivers either way out on the intermediate tyres doing their own thing at the moment, but plenty of other drivers on the correct compound at the moment. Crispy Veyron, Clips and Bailey just the bottom four at the moment on the dry tyres. And a pre-selection of tyres available all around the field as well. Of course, you've got the medium and the soft available, really, if you want to qualify through it to Q3. Best tyre to start on a 50% race round here, of course, is the medium. Gives you that fast, soft stint towards the end when that rubber is properly laid into the tarmac. The kind of grip that you get towards the end of this race on a hot circuit like this is unreal with these Pirellis. 12.5 minutes to go. Iron Fox just in the game chat at the moment. You may hear that slight flickering in the background. That is just him, I think, just fiddling around with his microphone settings at the moment. As we go very wide goes the McLaren of Supply Raptor on these medium tyres, just messing up turn 9. As I believe he's just trying to give the position up to Logic at the moment. Again, another driver on the intermediate tyre. I'm not entirely sure as to why some of these drivers are currently on the intermediate tyre. A lot of Clips though. On a hot lap himself at the moment, his Clips. No messages specifically coming in to the Discord server to try and explain as to why these drivers are all on the intermediate tyres at the moment. So I can't provide any kind of answer. If there was an answer, I'm sure I'll be able to give it as soon as I get any kind of notice. I'll be sure to let you guys know. Either way, we'll keep our attention closely followed on those that are on the dry tyre, because of course that is the fastest tyre to be on. We have one driver coming across the line to set a preliminary lap, but he has actually invalidated it. He's coming into the pits right now, so we won't be seeing any lap from Veyron just yet anyway. So the Alpine of Clips on these medium tyres with the DRS opener comes across the line to set a preliminary lap time of 1:28.5, 1.2 seconds a lap slower than the pole position lap time that we saw in Q1. Probably also out on a set of medium tyres. And the Haas driver, I'd say, is fairly in contention for this championship, alongside a bunch of other drivers as well, looking fairly keen to get going. Driver standings looking fairly sharp at the moment. Outlap at the moment. As it stands though, Mods SC Boy is leading the championship. Mods SC Boy currently on 25 points with that win at Austria. 18 points going to Perondi, who we're on board with at the moment. 15 points for Mers. 12 for Silk Weaver, but of course, remember, it was a very, very intense Grand Prix. with lots of spins and lots of mistakes all around the field. Phipps in the Alpine setting the fastest lap time so far, still though with that 28.2, improved by a couple of tenths. That's put him now 1 second behind the pole position lap time in Q1. Prandi looking to try and get himself going here as Clips does get out of the way. We'll keep following the Haas actually to see where his medium tyre pace is, because the harder compound of tyre was what was causing him the issues really. As soon as he got onto the soft compound at Austria, he was alive and kicking. But the medium and I think it was the hard tyre he had on, it didn't really connect with the circuit. Again, you see there, just locking up the front left. And no surprise, the intermediate tyre runner's not able to set really competitive lap times, nearly 11 seconds down. Over 11 seconds down, actually, is Logic on the intermediate. Last driver might be getting a little bit held up here by Marie. And the Alpine, who needs to dive out of the way here. Unless Marie's giving a tow, it's possible. Yeah, there was a little bit of a tow, actually. Fair play to Marie. Offering a Brazilian co-compatriot. A little bit of a tow down that back straight, but the DRS open for the Haas. We'll see where he comes now. 27.2. He's actually gone a tenth faster than the Q1 lap time that got pole. And Perondi on these medium tyres will now calm down and surely retire straight away, because that is a very, very competitive lap time in this event. We've got the dude now coming across the line on the medium tyre, and the Alpha Tauri, I'd say, across the line, just coming across the line now to finish this second sector, and he has gone purple apparently, so he's looking pretty competitive here. And I want to also keep a firm eye on Luciano as well, who had a bit of a shaky Austria as well. At one point leading the race and ended up spinning himself. 28.1 is actually 9 tenths down on Perondi at the moment. Perondi is absolutely flying, despite the few little mistakes that he had, which may cost him later down the line in a race, in qualifying, absolutely flying high. What's SC Boy currently on board at the moment with this Red Bull, looking just to continue the form. And the championship leader doing relatively well on this lap at the moment, as he looks to just keep it steady at the moment. His co-compatriot at the moment just heading around the first sector. Luciano also in this mix as well, as Shazam joining us as well, so we're in for a full lobby here. Shazam of course will be starting in 20th place, not setting a representative qualifying lap time, as Seaboy just warming up his tyres to get ready to go. Here's Luciano though. And you know that straight. Well, as you can say, straight. It's a bit of a smaller straight, really. Got a tow though, did Perondi. Luciano will come in P3 with a 27.6. Good lap time coming in from Sil Weaver on the soft tyre. 1 minute 26.874. Now breaching into those 26s. Of course, the soft tyre means that Sil Weaver is going to be on the inverse strategy, which many would consider is going to be the weaker strategy. Crispy comes across the pit lane entry at speed with no lap set. Bahrain giving a tow here to Mods SC Boy, and gets off of the circuit, but was on a little bit of the track that I suppose that Mods SC Boy potentially wanted to be on here. He'll come across the line now, will the Red Bull. And straight to P5, 27.7. Not so bad at the moment for the Red Bull. I think he'll be happy with that one, but he'll be keeping a firm eye on those behind him because he is certainly not out for potentially getting dropped out of Q2 because behind him, 27.8, 8, 9. And then the dude in the drop zone, well, in the danger zone rather, with a 28.1 clips. In fact, actually now out of the zone here as we've just seen Logic come across the line into 10th. Two McLaren struggling here at the moment. No limit, no EQL on an outlap at the moment. As Marie is currently on a little bit of a cruise at the moment. And she's on the 27.8 and she's leading the 27.8s at the moment. 3 of them on the 27.8 at the moment, so she'll be looking over her shoulders alongside Lord Gamer Supply Raptor. Duffy's and Logic also in this mix as well. The dude just a little bit behind. And currently in that drop zone. Logic in the danger zone. No limit, no EQL out on outlaps now. Crispy also doing the same. And the Williams will be looking to try and set something here. At least try and maybe challenge the McLarens. Otherwise, I think he'd be a little bit disappointed that he will get knocked out of Q2. Because he certainly has the pace. Well, there goes the Mercedes power unit in the back of that Williams. On that outlet. The Mercedes power unit in the back of the Aston Martin is the one we should really be watching at the moment. We start to see multiple retirements in the pit lane now as they come to understand that their qualifying session is over. At least for now. No limit, no UQL, one of 2 drivers yet to settle up alongside FRA Crispy. And here comes now across the line, DRS open. Is he going to get through? Here's Safar, P8. And another one into the 27.8s. Perondi chose to switch onto the soft tyres as well. I actually sort of glossed over that one, actually. They did choose to switch over to the soft tyres, but it wasn't actually set, well, his fastest lap wasn't set on that particular compound. It was on the medium in the end, so he chose to put it on and then just not set a good lap. If he did even set a lap, that is. Bit of a front left lock up from the Williams there. Crispy looking to try and get himself into the mix here. Right, so he's heading through now, turn 11. Through 12, into 13. Took a lot of curb to go in. A little bit of curb on that, and a lot of curb there, too much in fact. He's invalidated it. He'll have enough time to have another go here, but Crispy knows that he's got a lot more pace in him than what he's doing at the moment, and he's on the medium tyre as well, so he's putting himself under a little bit of pressure. He's the only person not to set a lap, actually, on the medium tyre is Siltweaver. He's on the soft. That's the tyre that he will be starting on in after Q3 in this race. Everyone else in the top 10 will be on the medium, and those outside of the top 10 will have a free choice. That's a lock up into 1 for Crispy. He's under some pressure here. This is the last do or die lap here, and again he has the pace, but a bit like Perondi in the last lap, he just showed a lack of consistency. And that's what's happening to the moment to the number 88, who needs to set some kind of lap if he wants to get through here. He's so far in the bottom 5. He's going to be starting P15 as it stands. A lot of curb through there. Heading through 7 into 8. Apologies if you can hear a bit of microphone rattle in the background. That is Iron Fox currently in the game chat messing around with his mic. And that's DRS open. for FRA Crispy as he tries to set something and taking a wide esports line in for that entry and a lot of curb. So that will make the rear just step out a little bit so you can put that power down, get the grip down, and then use the grip of the front end of the car to anchor down the cars into the ground. It's going to be a lot of curb, but not so much as last time. And the Williams looking, as I said, to get through into the top here as No Limit Newquell has actually just been knocked out here as Marie is on the braking point here, been knocked out. Supply Raptor comes across the line. He can't improve. It's a 27.8 for him. Here comes Crispy who comes across the line looking for 27.4 as he gets through and knocks Marie out of qualifying. And she'll be starting in P11 in a prime position, you'd say, to try and battle with those in the bottom 5 of the top 10, with the ultimate choice of having a fresh tyre of her opportunity, of her choosing. But your top lap times in the end were set by those naturally on the soft tyre. And we will take a look at those Q2 lap times. And so Weaver leads the way. The Red Bull 26.8, and then beating Clips, the Canadian, by just over 1/10, 0.101 seconds, also on the soft tyre. And no surprise to hear that the soft tyres are faster than the mediums, but the fastest of the mediums is Perondi. He's on the board with a 27.1 on board, which is just a fantastic lap time to find, with Bailey on the 27.3s alongside Lord Gamer, 27.4s for Veyron and Crispy, and 27.6s for Luciano, 27.7s for SC Boy Duffy's with a 27.8, and Marie beaten by only 5 thousandths of a second. Sure, she'll be disappointed with that one, but we do head through now into our final qualifying position here. And it is another 12 minutes of intense qualifying to see who will be starting on pole position. And it is opportunity knocks for these drivers. Soft tyres, the softest of the compounds of tyres available to them. Now it's down to them to show the magic and get the pole position, as we see a bit of a queue waiting up in the pits by the looks of things. The drivers all very keen to get out there. Now have a go at this one. First driver out will actually be the Ferrari, by the looks of things, of Veyron. As everyone at the Ferraris absolutely obliterating the first entry there. Not quite sure if that's the way to go about it. Either way, they lead the pack. It is actually Luciano at the moment who is leading this way, and absolutely obliterating these corners is the Ferrari. Again, not so sure that's the way you go about it. And people popping into the chat. The dude, I should have went back out. Was it barely disappointing in the end for yourself? You were looking fairly sharp. Knocked out though. 12 minutes to sit on the sidelines before you get on the race, and I'm sure you will power on. Luciano wanted to make sure that he doesn't give too much of a toe to those behind him, though I believe that's the Red Bull of Mods SC boy who's going to be fairly happy with the fact that he's going to have a little bit of a toe here. So the question is Luciano going to compromise his own lap here to make sure he doesn't give the Red Bull a toe, because that is quite close. Should go on board here, you can see there it's actually not as close as I thought it was, so maybe not that much. There is we've actually seen Luciano spin the car. So he's actually compromised his own qualifying lap here, never mind compromising it on his own call. Max Creighton in the chat as well. Good evening to yourself, sir. I think Clips is looking quick, he certainly is. game are also in this mix, as well as the Ferraris now cutting corners again. Not sure if there's any specific rule book against it, but yeah, certainly not the wisest thing to do. We do have a Red Bull leading this way at the moment. And it will be SC Boy that will set the first lap and the benchmark lap for this qualifying 3 session. And they're heading through now the final corner. And with that DRS open, he'll come across the line to set the initial lap time. Only 26.4, not bad actually for a set of soft tyres. Yeah, he comes across the line with a 26.1. We'll start to see the 25s now begin to appear. It's not going to come from this man, Luciano. Reduced to pit straight away, no surprise on there on that one. A bunch of other drivers also evacuating their laps after what was a pretty poor run. Not so for this man though at the moment. Edu Perondi will come across the final couple of corners with the idea that he might be trying to snag a good pole position here. Certainly finds it. 25.9. Once again, apologies if you can hear that rustling in the background. That's not my microphone, that is Iron Fox's microphone. Currently sat in the game chat as I believe he is spectating. That should disappear for the race unless he was to crash out. Here's Veyron, his teammate to Luciano. He's looking to try and out-qualify him if he can. It's a little bit of a Ferrari inter-team battle. Same situation happening as well at the moment for Red Bull. Believe it or not, they're the only 2 teams that have actually managed to get both of their teammates through to Q3. Everyone else is on their lonesome. It's Perondi in the Haas, it's Bailey in the Alfa Romeo. Got Clips in the Alpine, and then Lord Gamer in the Aston Martin. We'll follow Veyron actually. Oh, he's very brave on those curbs, isn't he? Again, these drivers having to get used to the new handling model, of course, that Codemasters released not so long ago. There was a poll, actually, to try and see if these drivers wanted to delay the next race, just as they got used to it. But they all said, no, we can adapt and we can get on with it. And that's exactly what these drivers are doing right now. See how he does heading through 8. 9, 10, then 11. And then he heads it into 12. He just misses his apex, maybe just by half an inch or something like that. But yeah, through that final corner now, 14 and 15. And the, as I said, the Ferrari looking to at least try and out-qualify his teammate. It looks to me as if he's actually not going to bother with that lap, actually. He's just bailing out on it because he invalidated it on the final corner by the looks of things. And he comes into the pits with nil points. Here's Duffy's. The Mercedes driver looking to get something going here. Clipping his curves quite well there, actually. The fastest first sector of anyone so far, anyway, with a 27.9. And the number 76 just taking the corner of 8 and 9 actually quite gingerly and actually missing his apex ever so slightly. Getting a bit of a snap coming out of 9 though. Let's see what he does. So coming out of 8 rather, into 9. And then into 10. And then into 11. We get a few missed apexes there, I think trying to avoid the curbs more than anything. Not missing that curb there though. Oh, that one for that matter. Still purple second sector though. So of course this is his first lap here, and we know there's been a bit of an issue with the code. It's a bit wide actually. I think he's probably going to abandon that one. That's exactly what the Mercedes is going to do. A lot of drivers going out of their way I think not just to troll, but to just send big Fs in the chat. As I try to see who's actually on laps or not. Appreciate the support. Here comes Crispy. And Williams looking to try and set a lap if he can. Oh, and he's another one coming into the pits. Would you believe it? Oh, pick and choose your drivers, Jar. Pick and choose your driver. Who's the next person to come in the pits as I try to commentate on them? The answers on a postcard, please. Ship them to the UK via Bahrain. It's a Weaver at the moment as he's just gingerly driving himself around the circuit. With 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go. And drivers just getting themselves ready now for what will be a last lap dash for this amazing Grand Prix. And this pole position that I think all of them are dying to try and grab a hold of here. Perondi holding onto it at the moment though by 2/10. Bailey looking fairly sharp. Clips not really setting, I think, a bit of a representable lap time there. There's a bit more pace in that Alpine, I think. And the dude just sitting in the chat at the moment and just discussing it. I mean, Perondi, Luciano, Mods, all of them extremely quick, Crispy as well. I mean, to be fair, all of them mighty fast at the moment. But I'm just surprised how little lap times we've actually had in so far. I mean, half of the field have managed to set a lap. One of them, you'd have to argue, is probably not a representable lap time, whilst the other half haven't even been able to set a lap time yet because they keep invalidating. And that is something worth noting, because that means we're probably going to be expecting a few penalties in this race which may steer the race in one direction or another. So those that you see not setting lap times immediately may be something that they will have to watch for in the race, and something we'll have to watch for as well as they race. Here's Sil Weaver though, currently in 7th at the moment. Again, another one of those drivers yet to set a lap. And the number 8 actually taking the first couple of sectors quite well here. He's also actually got his Red Bull teammate, the Mods SC boy, just in front here. Hopefully not to give too much of a dirty head, but maybe potential here for a little bit of a tow. Not the purple second sector that he wanted. He was washing out wide a few times, wondering if the dirty air of his teammate was causing a few little issues. As SC boy, I have a sneaking suspicion he's going to tuck in right behind Silk Weaver, and he's going to try and take a tow here. Which is, as they say in Britain, bloody cheeky. And Silk Weaver's actually gone into AI, would you believe? Which hopefully hasn't impeded SC boy here. I don't think it has so far. Either way, he is in AI, but Mods SC boy will now continue on his lap. Looking to try and get himself a little bit closer to Bailey here. He's down 2.5 tenths. Would like a little bit more to squeeze out the back of that Honda power unit. – 14 seconds to go. We're obviously going to have our drivers all getting themselves ready here. Clips will be the last man to set a lap here. If he can get to the line, he's got a few seconds to do it. Here it comes across the line, and it will be able to set a final lap. But the last lap honours will go to the Alfa Romeo of Bailey. Comes across the line now. Oh, he's beating Perondi 25.8 and puts himself on pole here at the moment, as other drivers are looking to try and beat him. Perondi is down in the second sector, and he's putting a bit of pressure on himself. He is wanting to bounce back from an appalling Austrian Grand Prix where everything fell in his favour. Comes across the line now. He hasn't beaten Bailey, and he is down by 0.5 tenth here. Here comes Mods SC boy in the Aston. Oh, I'll get there in the end. In the Red Bull. He comes across the line. He does improve by 1.5 tenths, but he's down in P4 at the moment. Duffy's looking to improve as well. But he's currently running out of ERS at the moment, so he's obviously had a couple of runs beforehand here. As he locks up going through 10. And then goes through 11. Keep it steady as he wants to go through 12 and 13 without clipping too many curbs. Well executed at the moment, but to me looks like he's not going to be pushing too hard here. He is actually up by a small margin here. Small margins make effort here as he tries to find at least 3/10 on SC Boy here. Comes across the line now. Does find that time. Less than half a tenth, but it's not enough. He stays in P5 at the moment. One other driver left. It's the Alpine of Clips. We said he'd be quite quick here. And he has improved somewhat. We'll get an idea of what that is as soon as we see the results come up. Very, very tense in the end. It was a solid P7 for Clips, the Canadian, starting it on the 4th row of the grid alongside Lord Gamer. But Bailey, a South Korean driver, finishes in P1. He is going to be starting on pole alongside arguably the championship contender here, or the favourite for the championship anyway. VRL Peronde starts on the front row, but in second place. Luciano in third with Mods SC Boy in fourth, and Duffy's in fifth. Veyron starts in sixth. As we've already said, Clips and Lord Gamer in seventh and eighth, with Sick Weaver in ninth, and Crispy starting in 10th without the ability to set a lap time. We did see that issue in Q2, and it's now hit him hard in Q3, and he's going to be starting in 10th behind some drivers who arguably are going to be quite quick, and they're going to be on those fresh tyres, remember. And remember, if he's not able to set a lap time in qualifying, what does that mean for the race? More warnings, potentially more penalties. Might be a little bit of a hot spot, I think, especially around maybe turn, I think probably the last couple of corners, turn 14, 15, turn 13 is going to be a problem. Maybe even on the entry into turn 10 may also be an issue as well. And maybe the issue actually could be all the way up as far as turn 3, turn 4. So let's see how these drivers get themselves sort of perked up and ready up. We are due to start our race very imminently. Stay tuned, PWW will be back very shortly. We are going green very soon here for this Catalina live mixer. It's the wine mixer event here, hosted by PWW. This is Prestige World Racing. It's myself, Jota, here for this race here at the Sakhir Grand Prix circuit, the international circuit layout here for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Thank you very much to every single one of you tuning in for this full man lobby here at the Catalina Wine Mixer event. This is round number 2 of the season. Plenty of cash prizes being handed out throughout the season, of course, as well as the main prize. And as I said, as I said early on, we have actually a very, very intense qualifying session. Saw Bailey in the Alfa Romeo manage to secure that pole position and beating the championship favourite Perondi in second place. Luciano starts in third with SC Boy in fourth, and Duffy's in fifth. Towards the back, you do have Marie. She starts in 11th, and she's going to be on that fresh set of tyres that she has the option to pick on what compound she wants to pick on for that matter. And you can see the tyre selection there. Oh, they've all gone for mediums, would you believe it? The soft tyre runners of Clips and Silkweaver, they set lap times in Q2 on soft tyres. They're forced to start on that compound. The only person staying out of that mix, though, is Iron Fox. He starts on the hards. So it's going to be a very, very intense race ahead of us. 29 laps of racing is going to be with us here. As Bailey starting on pole without his helmet, fairly certain that's going to be breaking plenty health and safety regulations, but I tell you, it's a very cheap way to get aircon. He starts in P1 with Perondi in P2. A couple of people getting into incidences there. I believe that might be Shazam and Mers. Disqualified from this race as the drivers all just getting themselves ready here. Would you believe it's a bit of an Alfa Romeo sandwich, and with the cherry on top being Shazam, as Chout starts P19, his teammate a little bit further down than where I think he'd want to be. These drivers now getting themselves ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix. They're getting ready by lining up on the grid. And with those drivers lined up, we're counting down the lights. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, and it's 5 lights. It's 5 lights, and they are a go! The drivers, here they are. An exceptional start from the Ferrari power unit car of the Alfa Romeo in first, with Perondi looking to try and make a Ford challenge maybe down that inside line, but I have a feeling he's not going to be able to do so as he stays in P2. He's actually getting more attacked by Luciano in third place here, but he's able to defend quite well. We've got a bunch of other drivers happening around the field here. We've got people losing, gaining positions all around the field. I think someone's just gone off at the circuit there. It's the Aston Martin, I believe. Trying to figure out who that might be. I think that might be No Limit, No EQL. Then Bailey trying to hold on here for P1. We've got Perondi in second, Luciano third, Duffy's fourth, and we've got Mods SC-Boy in fifth, and Veyron in sixth, Crispy in seventh, Marie up 3 positions up into 8th, but dropping a few down to 10th. I believe she's actually spun the car coming around into turn 3, 4, 5 maybe, so she's now going to be down the field as a result of that one. And the supply at Raptor also up 4 positions, currently battling with Crispy as well at the moment, doing quite a good job actually, is those drivers in front. We're on board with Veyron at the moment as they continue to battle hard, as Crispy's trying to force himself into this mix as well, but he's actually too far back to make a challenge here, and it's actually Mods SC-Boy that might be making a move here as he's trying to get into the mix himself. Here he goes down that inside line, heading through into turn 9, and it's worked a treat for him. He's got in front of Duffy's, and now he's up to 4th place into the position that he started off. That's a good defense move to get himself back into the mix to where he started, and now he's going to try and force himself into a position where he can then continue his forward momentum on these medium tyres. Bailey's still leading this race at the moment, and actually starting to pull a little bit of a gap on Perondi here, with Luciano in third. Mods SC-Boy managing to get that position back here, and actually Duffy's under a little bit of pressure here as Veyron is actually applying a bit of pressure himself here to try and close down that gap on Duffy's, but Duffy's doing a good job with his setup by the looks of things here, as a bunch of other people just getting into the mix here to try and make some changes. It looks like pit stops early here for Clips and Lord Gamer. No Limit, No EQL, despite the fact we've got a spinning car at the back there, actually still in the race without needing to pit, so maybe no damage, and he's just got away with it. The DRS train still forming from first all the way down to 13th as it stands at the moment. Two-stop strategy, the suggestion for those starting on the softs, one of those unfortunately being Silk Weaver, though I suspect he's probably going to do a hard stint. Maybe time may also be possible as well if the driver's going to be able to handle the pressure. I'm not getting a puncture. Medium time for the McLaren Supply Raptor. Joined us a little bit later on in the session. Didn't stop his pace though. Up 5 positions at the moment. What a start from him. I want to start for the Mercedes of Shazam as well. Up 9 positions from 20th all the way up to 11th. As you see, the one-stop strategy suggested for him here. Medium to hard. I think involving Marie there and Iron Fox. Iron Fox doing a bit of a spin. We are currently on board at the moment with Shazam. Our biggest gainer in this so far, the Mercedes. Up 9 positions starting from 20th, up to 11th, and just on the brink of the points. Also in this mix at the moment as well. Managing to hold on quite well at the moment, and the Ferrari looking to just keep powering on. He looks to try and keep the pressure on the front two at the moment. It looks to me as if there's a little bit of acts of desperation because he's already munching through his ERS levels quite high at the moment. Perondi also locking up as well as we have a spinning car again. I'm not sure who that one might be. Looks like an Alpine has spun out somewhere. I believe that might actually be Marie again. Appalling race start for her at the moment. Looking to categorise and try and capitalise rather on a solid P11 qualifying position, and unfortunately for her, down 5 positions. Clips and Lord Gamer though, the biggest losers out of all of this at the moment, obviously having to make their pit stops, both down 12 positions each. Rondi now starting to apply that pressure at the front. An overtaking DRS now available here as the Haas is looking to try and make the move here. And Edu Perondi leads this race down that inside line. It was a bit of a textbook move really, wasn't it, for the Haas under DRS. Plenty of ERS available at his disposal, and Bailey now been relegated to P2 and in the dirty air. How quickly is he going to be able to adjust to the pressure of now battling for someone in front and behind you? And the Mods SC boy just very, very keen. He'll just take every over position up if he wants it. Here comes Duffy's down this here now. He's starting to get to a little bit of a battle. He's going to go down that inside line and try and beat Veer onto it here. Both on that medium tyre, and we're already starting to see penalties come through if they collided with Crispy. And a little bit of sort of tangling between those two drivers and Crispy. And it looks like the Mercedes or Duffy's just getting into all sorts of problems. And just bitterly disappointing stuff for those two. I think that Williams might have actually got away without damage as well, actually, for him. So he might be able to just get straight back in and get right back into this race here. Lord Gamer has DNF from this race while this was all happening, by the way, and he's just left the session immediately. So we're down to 19. With 25 laps to go. And Perondi, no doubt, setting the fastest lap of this race and already breaking the DRS territory of Bailey here. And Bailey want to know where his race pace has gone. Supply Raptor also getting into a little bit of a battle here with the Red Bull. And they're still going side by side, heading through turn 2, turn 3, these two, as they're two in front. Also getting into the mix. Luciano going down that inside line as well. The two Ferrari power cars still getting into this mix here, and they're still battling hard here. Luciano making that one working in all of that as well. Supply Raptor has managed to make the gain on the Red Bull as well. He's now up to P4, 8 positions gained for him. Shazam up 11. Logic also up 6 as well. So actually McLaren having a good race so far early on with 24 laps to go. Perondi is starting to really make a gap here. He has been pushing, mind. He is down a little bit on the ERS, but pretty sure he can afford to lift and coast a little bit and develop some energy back into the engine, because it's not really going to cause him any problems here, especially if Luciano is now in front and trying to battle with Bailey. They're both struggling with ERS, is Perondi and Luciano. Bailey, on the other hand, has actually been saving up, so I think he's thinking of the longer game here. So maybe he knows the reason why his pace has gone down is because he's not really pushing. Well, DRS open, overtake used on the straight just until the DRS was open. Doesn't look like he's going to be looking for the overtake, but he certainly got the pace to have it if he did have the overtake option available, as DRK, Dark, F1 Dark, however you want to pronounce his gamer tag, he's now out of this race as well after he's had a crash at the top of the hill of turn 11. Rather turn 12 as Haley Luciano still in this battle here at the moment. And they will continue to battle hard at the moment, as just their time penalties galore really started to come into effect now. .23 laps to go in this one. Veyron, the only person with a time penalty as it stands at the moment. I'm saying time penalties galore. The reason why I was saying time penalties galore is because they're actually relevant to the two drivers at the back who have now actually DNF'd from this race, as the dude and Siltweaver to be both my line managers in this particular event. Both of these runners are doing quite well as it stands at the moment in 9th and 10th, both taking got some good points with them. So I've got the centre of the moment for Duffy's and well, Duffy's earlier on in this session actually in that battle with Crispy, and of course they're getting into that collision, and it was just bitterly disappointing stuff in the end actually. It's not like Duffy's to get into an accident actually, but he has actually made that mistake to get into that collision, and that has resulted in all of those situations there, as we've got some battling happening towards the front now. Veyron and Mods SC Boy getting into the mix here. Here comes the Red Bull looking to make the challenge now on the Ferrari. Space was there, decided to leave it ever so slightly, but it was pretty close, you know. He's staying onto the back of this here, so you may consider he's going to look for the move, maybe going down that inside line, choosing not to. He's going to stay back. Oh, but he's locked up though as Veyron, so he's made that mistake. He's going to have the traction coming out of the corner because there is tarmac there. Veyron is going to be under some pressure. He may make the same mistake again. Oh, he's hit his apex absolutely perfectly. And Veyron is going to start to pull that gap. And even with the DRS, I have a sneaking suspicion the Red Bull's not going to be able to power on here. And Shazam might be the one that's going to be putting Mods SC Boy under the pressure here. But he's now missed his apex as a result, I reckon, of the dirty air. And that's now going to put him under pressure potentially for Memory Logic here in the McLaren, who's looking fairly sharp here, and he wants to try and hit his apex well here if he wants to put the pressure on, and that's exactly what he's done. Here he comes now with the overtake available, but he's got barely any ERS left, and the Mercedes power unit in the back of this McLaren is drained of all its battery, and as a result of that one, you're going to see him start to really fall off of the pace of those on the straight here. Here comes Logic now, though. And you can see he's just not making all of those gains to those in front here. And Shazam is still not looking for the dive. I'd have gone for that then. Why not stick your front end down that inside line? Never know what's going to happen. Or maybe a mistake like that could happen. And Shazam certainly will take the bait on that one. And SC Boy now down to 6th place. All right, I stand corrected. You know better than me on that one. Marie now the recipient of a time penalty in 13th. Again, the race not really falling well here as Luciano has decided to come into the pit. It's P16 at the moment. Actually, he's going to get relegated to 17th here. Continuing battling happening here is so strong between these drivers. Veyron, Shazam, SC Boy and Logic. And the dude going to get into this mix as well here. Sector 1 yellow flags waved as well at the moment as we've got Chout who's spun the car at turn 3. On board with Veyron at the moment, you can see how important it's going to be here that he has a good exit out of turn 14 through 15. Here he goes now. Later on the brakes for Shazam. Is that going to cost him? It's not. He's hit his apex perfectly here. Has he managed to be able to carry the right amount of speed though? Not so sure. DRS open though for Shazam. It's open for SC Boy and Logic as well, but Shazam's going to make this one stick. I have a sneaking suspicion. Here he comes down that line. He's going to keep it steady around that inside line here as he continues to battle around the side there on the outside of the Ferrari. Ferrari's going to have the advantage here, you'd think, going through that particular corner, and he's not going to have the DRS though because Shazam was behind him at the point of the detection, and he's now down to 5th. Shazam to 4th. Later on the brakes though, trying to find the outside line. That might actually put him under pressure from SC Boy here. But he's got his own battle at the moment with Logic, would you believe? It's such an intense event so far. And it doesn't surprise me SC Boy didn't go for that move on Veyron because he's looking to try and stay firmly away from Logic at the moment. Who must be looking really crisp and sharp. That's it, that he locks up and just plows into the rear end there of SC Boy. He's had a very good exit though as that McLaren, hasn't he? Going through that corner. He's going to be happy with that one. And he tries to find the switchback, does SC Boy. He may have it, but it's not going to be enough as Logic is now trying to recover as much energy as possible. He's definitely going to get the bike back, I have a feeling, will Logic. Look, he's still using overtake despite the fact that he's been derating. Look at that. On the main straight, the light is just flicking red, red, red. I've got no energy. Why are you feeding me? overtake. I can't give you that much power. He's down to 5%. SC Boy is just going to have him for breakfast, going down that outside line. And he's not even using overtake. He's just keeping it steady. And he tries his hardest to defend this one, but I have a sneaking suspicion Logic is going to have to try and force him out wide if he wants to have any chance of holding on to this position. But then here comes SC Boy, and he's going to make it known that he is there. Logic is not going to have the DRS, and he's going to use whatever little overtake he's got left, which I think is about 3%. He's going to try and put his car there. It's not going to work, and he's down to 7th. And that is a crisp idea of why you need to make sure you've got ERS management in this game. It is very well maintained, and I tell you what, really, really does add another complexity to your racing. And unfortunately for Logic, not the best management for him at the moment. A little bit of a break now happening for those drivers that were battling around in P4, 5, 6 and 7, because they've all just now fallen out of DRS, except that battle, of course, between SC Boy and Logic at the moment. With the DRS available, actually, Mon SC Boy now starting to struggle with his ERS management here. Oh, it's a little bit of a late lunge down that inside line to try and defend it, maybe force SC Boy into... force Logic into submission there, but he's now back in front. You can see that the Mercedes power unit is going to be harvesting very early down the straight. Look, it's already started harvesting. He's struggling to try and find electrical energy here. The Red Bull's also struggling as well, albeit, let's take a look at that at the moment. That's probably only about 15 or 20% himself, but certainly more than Logic, who puts that power down so early, is so quick on the gas. Is that McLaren? With the DRS open and available for SC Boy, he can't use his overtake. He knows he hasn't got the electrical energy to do it. He's going to go potentially to hold in around that inside line. That's going to be late on the brakes. He has locked up as a result of that one. Red Bull looking so strong to potentially make an overtake, maybe into turn 3. He's got the ERS available, but he's still not using... sorry, he's got the DRS available, but not the ERS available, and still he's not using overtake, so he's trying his hardest to try and save some ERS while staying in the wake of this McLaren, which is going to be tough here. And the curb chooses not to put the power down too early again, because you can spin out. Crispy fastest lap of the race on these medium tyres, currently down in 15th, because he won't get that point. So late. Lap 11 of 29, we've got 18 laps to go, nearly about halfway there. And early indications suggesting that Shazam has just come out of the middle of nowhere to try and take potentially a podium as he battles on the Supply Raptor. Bailey Dog looking so quick. Bailey Dog, rather, sorry. Bailey Dog is another character I know, actually, within the esports community. Bailey, rather. It was on pole position and expected to take the win here, but Perondi's come out of nowhere and started to pull out a gap on him, currently in P1. And then take a look at the situation as well in that midfield, as well as gaps started to form all around the field, and Marie back into the points. Car just being let out of the field there. I believe that might be Chout just letting all the cars lap him. Back aboard with Shazam at the moment in the Mercedes. Started to pull that gap on Veyron now, 1.8 seconds. So he's managed to sort of find his own rhythm here. And next up, he'll be looking to try and put pressure on Supply Raptor. It's P20 started, remember. Might be on for a good podium here as it stands at the moment. What a race it has been so far for this Mercedes. Brilliant racing. Well, there's your tyre situation then, folks. PWW, the dude, is the latest driver. Sorry, it's rather the driver furthest towards the front on a new set of tyres. He's on a set of hards to the end of this race. We are expecting these medium tyre runners to come in probably in the next couple of laps here. Question is who is the first person that's going to make that flinch? Certainly not Perondi. He's going out another lap here. Lap number 13 for him on these medium tyres. And remember, he did one lap as well in qualifying on these as well, and it was hard qualifying because of course he's got the full power of the engine, and he's obviously chucking the car in all of the right places. That's going to put a little bit of wear on the tyres as well, so consider these tyres actually a little lap older than that, perhaps 13, maybe even 14 laps old. And Veyron has chosen to pit in that front group. The question is he actually going to come out in front of PWW dude here? And he is. There's the dude just there coming out there. So Veyron now leads the new tyre runners. Marie, the guilty party of another 3-second time penalty. She's struggling out there at the moment. Up to 8th though. Mods SC Boy is not leaving Logic quiet at all, is he? You have to argue here that the McLaren is surely going to be sort of, well, I wouldn't say unhappy, but I'd say he'd be saying, can you just bugger off, please? Well, Mods SC Boy is just going to be like, no, I don't think so. I'm going to continue racing my own race. That involves hunting you down. What he needs to hunt for is more electrical energy though, because he's currently really struggling at the moment on ERS level. He'll surely pick some up when the pit lanes come. As we have Marie spinning out, and she spun out at turn 10. That's battle still happening, closing the DRS early to try and get a little bit more grip here. Side by side they go. Oh, SC Boy knew he made a mistake there. SC Boy knew he made a mistake there because he was turning in too early, had to evacuate turning the turn, and he might have just caught the McLaren a little bit there. The McLaren has just caught himself out a little bit there actually. Logic now down to 6th. On here, and he is going to try and make that move actually as the McLaren. He's made it stick actually. These two have been battling so hard, aren't they, basically all the way through this stint. I'm fairly certain they'll be happy about it though. It's always good to have a good race. As we see, Marie has actually retired in the pits and called it quits, so she's out of this race, and the Brazilian driver scoring nil points. It'll be disappointing for her actually, because she was showing some relatively good pace actually. It's just that consistency to keep it on the track has just folded her. She's out of this race, and we're down to 17. 14 lap old tyres for all the drivers that are still trying to get past. DRS open for the Red Bull, as they're still battling so hard at the moment. Oh, a little bit of a tap actually between those two drivers. They're continuing on to battle hard. They're still continuing to battle hard as Logic has made a little bit of a mistake going through there, and I've got no doubt that SC Boy is going to continue on with this battle here. Following Mods SC Boy at the moment, but no doubt though that there's going to be another overtake between these drivers, and flapping the DRS wing at the moment is SC Boy, because he knows he wants to try and get close, but not too close. That's going to cause him problems in having to overtake him before the long straight. Logic has made an absolute mishap of that final corner. Making that pit stop now though. Memory Logic is now coming in. Crash that up hard, I have a sneaky suspicion for. No, it's softs actually. Softs going on for these tyres. 13 laps to go. Certainly possible. It's going to be tough though. Laps to go in this race. Soft tyres to the end of this race. Going to be a tough one. Going to be tight. Whilst all of that was happening, Supply Raps has actually made the overtake on Bailey at the moment. Bailey currently struggling at the moment. Oh, Supply Raps has made an absolute hash of turn 9 and 10 though. Turn 8 and 9 rather. And Bailey is certainly going to be able to make the overtake right back at the McLaren and say thank you very much indeed. Oh, he's struggling with that rear as well. These tyres are now completely at the end of their life. I have a suspicion Perondi's probably going to be coming in here. I think he firmly knows he's in prime position here. Let's see if he does come in. I'm expecting he's probably going to be coming in, and that's exactly what's happening. It's on the brakes. Joss manages to sneak in there. Bailey's coming in as well. Supply Raptor, to my absolute surprise, considering the two loss of the rear on that last lap, is staying out another lap here. No doubt it's going to be soft tyres on for the Haas. That's exactly what is going to be happening for Bailey as well in the Alfa Romeo. And currently, there is still 3 people yet to make a pit stop at the moment. No Limit, No EQL, Mods SC Boy and Supply Raptor. They currently lead this Grand Prix at the moment. No Limit, No EQL very, very close actually, only just here. And I've got no doubt Peron is going to be like, just get out of my way, I can't lose any time to you here. Absolutely no doubt that's exactly what has just happened there. No Limit, No EQL tries to throw the car into maybe a bit of a switch back in position, but it's not going to happen. Shout out to Shazam though here. Got to make this one clear. Again, starting from P20 on the grid. He's going to be heading into P4 any second now, and with those soft tyres onto the end of this race, you've got a sneaky suspicion here that there's going to be a very, very good potential for a podium here. Not bad for a man starting in 20th without qualifying. Continue to go side by side, but surely it's going to be absolutely no match at all. New softs versus old mediums. Here makes that overtake very easy through 14 and 15. And you won't be surprised to hear that No Limit New EQL has chosen to pit. Mods SC Boy doing the same. Supply Raptor staying out again for another lap. I'm wondering if he's trying to hope that there will be a safety car here. I just have a horrible feeling. I don't think there's going to be here. Everyone's kept it as consistent and as tight as possible here. Mod SC Boy just getting out behind the dude, would you believe? On the hard tyres though is the dude. Heading through turn 9-10 now is Peronde. Gap 14 seconds, will be taking the lead of this race again once Supply Raptor makes his pit stop. Shazam though on for a very, very good position here. He could be potentially on for P2 as it stands, because he's actually made the overcut work so well. He's made the undercut so well, he's actually beaten Bailey, who'll be wanting to know exactly what has happened to his pace, because qualifying pace-wise, he was the fastest out there. I have a feeling he might only be the 3rd fastest at the moment on the track during a race. You won't be surprised to hear that the McLaren of Supply Raptor stayed out another lap. Bailey, though, not making that one stick. That's a bit of a shaky way of making the overtake, though. The man with no helmet, with plenty of air conditioning, now up to 3rd. That penalty starts to come in now. Mer's also in the mix with that one. See the Veyron just trying to keep it steady as he tries to close down that gap on Logic, but Logic is on those fresh soft tyres, and you suspect he's going to start pulling the gap. He's actually out of DRS now. Was holding his own actually for a lap or two, but it looks like Ferrari's actually starting to give up a little bit on that particular challenge. Whilst all that's been happening, Shazam and Bailey have been battling out. Bailey's now back in front of Shazam. Supply Raptor now being overtaken by Perondi. Supply Raptor is trying his hardest to get a fresh set of the freshest set of soft tyres out there on the field, but you can see it's causing him some real issues on circuit with these medium tyres that are blistering quite badly, especially on that front right tyre, and he's now finally decided to bail on that one. Follow Shazam again here. Continues to try and make that work, but so far not working well. He stays behind Bailey as Bailey hugs the inside line to try and break the toe. Certainly would in Shazam's Bailey's fail over there, because Shazam is just a little bit washed out wide, would you believe? Oh, that's interesting. So, tweet just popping into the chat there, just get full confirmation of what happened to Supply Raptor. Raptor actually spun the car, which you won't be surprised to hear, to be fair, because you saw that he was struggling, obviously, on those old medium tyres anyway. So, that's the reason why we've lost all of that time. As I believe we've actually just lost sound. We've got no sound at all. As sound has completely collapsed on my side, and I believe we've actually completely lost sound over the stream as well. So you're just going to have to put up with my rather ill-sounding voice at the moment, which I can only apologise for. I'm not so sure exactly as to why it's done that, because just heard the big crack and we've lost sound completely. So we'll try and find a resolve, and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can with that one. But we'll continue on with the coverage, as I believe we've just had the sound return to us. Yeah, apologies for that one. We'll continue on with the show as 8 laps to go. It's been seriously intense stuff between these two here. Shazam's got a point to prove here. He wants to make it stick, and he wants to say, look, I am a man on a mission. I didn't qualify, and I'm still on the podium as it stands, but where on the podium does he want to be? Well, second staring him right in the face, isn't it? The Catalina wine mixer event is bringing some great racing. Plenty of prizes being handed out. PWW, of course, looking always to extend its viewership. Just follow the relevant channels if you are interested in taking a look at more about what PWW has to offer. In the meantime, why don't you wait on for another 8 laps of this amazing coverage here of the Bahrain Grand Prix here at the Sakhir circuit and the international layout, providing some peculiar moments around the field. Red Bull looking like they're going to be getting maybe around about... Could be starting to get some good points actually in the constructors here. Mercedes are getting double points in the constructors as well. Haas are only getting 1. So for Alfa Romeo, as it stands, the limited chance is now falling 1 minute and 22 seconds back from P16 at the moment. So I'm looking for it. He's getting closer and closer, but he's just not able to make the move stick at the moment. I've got no doubt Shazam was going to be happy with his performance. He's going to be questioning himself here. I started P20. Do I want to take the carry of moving up 17 positions and be proud of that and take a driver of the day, because that's what he's going to be getting? Or do I go to that 18th position gain? Every racer says he's going to go for the 18th, surely. His heart will be saying, look, you've made all these positions up, you're struggling with this guy, don't take any risks. But his head is going to be like, speed. And with speed comes with great responsibility. He's got to make that move stick if he wants to make it work, and then after that he's got to make sure that it's safe. And he certainly looks like he's going to be lining up for one here now. Slightly missed apex. Bailey is going to get the better exit out of that one. Pops it into overtake, and the Mercedes looking to make the move stick here. He'll pop it out of overtake early to try and manage his ERS, and that's exactly what he's done. But under DRS, Shazam is now up 18 positions. He's up to second. What a drive it has been from this Mercedes. There's Shazam as well. Not just so far off of Perondi here. Only 4 seconds back in the end. Not bad again from a driver starting 20th place. As it looks to me as if actually the Haas driver is currently trying to get past Iron Fox at the moment. That's exactly what he's able to do. The Haas driver now able to get past the lap car in the Williams. We do have a spinning car at the moment, and I think that spinning car is actually Mers at the moment, to the top of the hill of 13. And then into 14. Where these drivers actually just about to enter into now. Enter into 13. Keeps it well steady, doesn't it? 23 of 29, 6 laps to go. Make that 5. As Perondi comes across that line, we've probably got about 10 minutes worth of racing left as Mers is absolutely pile drive somewhere into the pit lane. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but his car just sort of spontaneously combusted upon entering into the pit lane. No idea what happened to the AlphaTauri. He's out of this race. We're down to 16. Iron Fox again just getting out of the way of these guys battling here for P2, P3. Chout doing similarly. Back aboard with Bailey at the moment. There's 5 laps to go. Biding his time here is Shazam. I have a feeling he's going to start saving up a little bit of ERS over the last couple of laps to try and get a push. Heading into that 29th and final lap. Nothing less than Perondi, Bailey and Shazam deserve. They have been absolutely on fire throughout this. I'm just able to close down that gap. Again, not enough though at the moment. Actually getting off of the gas. He is starting to begin a bit of a ERS save here. He's doing a little bit of what they call lifting and coasting, getting off of the power before the corner. That puts a little bit more energy into the batteries, so he's clearly thinking about maybe a lap 29 overtake to take that second place right out of the Alfa Romeo's hands. You'd have to argue that, well, Haley deserves it because he's been in second place all the way through this race. But argue again, Shazam started in 20th place. He's definitely got a podium. Is he going to be on the second step is the question. Continuing battles happening between 9th and 10th at the moment. I believe there's been an incident between No Limit, No EQL and Supply Raptor. And Supply Raptor has actually now retired as a result of that. The McLaren won't be happy with that one. It was going to be a double points finish. And again, lifting and coasting again for Shazam. He's definitely planning something in the background. By the way, McLaren's demise means that the hard tyre runner of Luciano is now taking that final point at the moment. Slowly but surely. This race is getting closer and closer to its end. Shazam, again on his ERS save at the moment, looking to just try and put Bailey under pressure towards the end of this race. Has Bailey understood what's the situation here? Has he decided to do the same? Because he's certainly not pulling away at the moment. Closer and closer to its conclusion. And while this is all happening, these two are battling hard. Peronde is actually losing time at the moment to these two drivers. He was 4 seconds up, it's now 3.3. But Peronde may just be considering a slow end to this race. Just bring the car home. No one to battle with. The Ferrara power unit in the back of this Alfa Romeo. See Shazam getting closer and closer. With every foot, he gets closer. Only 2 laps to go. Really, anything can happen. As the great Roy Walker said, he usually does. Bit of a battle happening as well down in the battle for 12th at the moment. 11th and 12th. Luciano just been overtaken by Crispy. Him and Duffy's currently battling hard is Luciano. ERS management working a treat at the moment. Bailey barely touches his ERS at the moment, so Shazam knows he needs to do it. Otherwise, well, this driver who is currently driving without a helmet will be on his way to what is going to be a cracking podium. Ultimate lap time. Yeah, this is where we're going to start to see people begin to push here as Peronde is now pulling his gap here. He's been using a lot of his ERS as well by the looks of things, now below 10%, so he's been looking to try and potentially set purple sectors at the moment. Well, current situation for that is that he still has the fastest lap, so he'll be taking the extra point. More lifting and coasting here for Shazam. He's certainly ditching any chance of overtaking on this lap, and I think he's looking for the next one here. Half spin there for the final corner between 14 and 15, caused by Chout. Keeps that battle building. Shazam looking to just build and build that ERS. He's going to need it, and I have a feeling he's going to try and push it, but that was a little bit uncharacteristic. These soft tyres also started to fall off. Remember these guys pitted quite early on. An overtake being used very early here. He can be in the DRS territory here. This is going to be a bit of a do or die one here. He wants to do it into turn 1 really if he wants any chance to try and do this. But Bailey is, I think, going to have this covered here. Heading into that final corner, big lock up, but it hits his apex so well. Does Shazam, but lost the rear ever so slightly, get too excited on the throttle. He knows that might be that opportunity squandered here. He's been saving up for all of that ERS, and what for by the looks of things. I think Bailey is on his way to take a cracking P2. And don't ever think Shazam is going to be disappointed with P3. He was 17 positions lower earlier at the beginning of this race, and he's managed to do all of that so well. There's no limit, no EQL, still getting into battles here. This is medium versus hard tyres at the moment. Both around about the same age here. The question is of where is the opportunity and the gap to make that move. Not there, as it stands at the moment. We have to go back on board with this man here. Edu Peronde was not able to keep his car in a straight line on 2 or 3 occasions at the Austrian Grand Prix. The Brazilian driver could argue he'd be disappointed with P2 because he knows that on some level he probably didn't deserve it. But the Haas driver is going to come across the line and he's going to win the Bahrain Grand Prix here in PWW, here in the Catalina Wine Mixer event. Bailey finishes in P2, Shazam does finish in P3 in the end, and then here comes Logic in the McLaren. Not a bad race here for him either. He'll come across the line in a very solid P4, and it will be 12 points for the McLaren outfit after the disappointing DNF between for Supply Raptor, as Mods SC Boy comes across the line after penalties, taking P5 off Feyron. No limit, no EQL after some potentially controversial moments with Supply Raptor early in this race, finishes in P7. Maybe penalties on the way for him. We'll have to see what the stewards say if indeed there was an accident between those drivers, as the dude finishes in 9th. Durfies will come across the line to take that final solitary point, which I think he'll be a bit disappointed with in the end. We'll have to see if that is actually taken off him post penalties. We'll see as Crispy comes across the line right now, and he's actually got far more penalties, as I think Luciano is actually going to take 11th off Crispy. That's exactly what's happened, and this race is done. And you won't be surprised to hear, of course, that Shazam is going to be taking the driver of the day. P3 from P20 in the end, 17 positions gained. Bow your head, my sir. He absolutely deserves that driver of the day. And well done to Peronde. In the end, he just absolutely bossed the field, didn't he? And the Brazilian driver will be taking 26 points with him. Well, there you go. What a very, very intense race in the end here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Peronde takes the top step, takes the fastest lap. Bailey finishes in second, with Shazam in third, Logic in fourth, and SC Boy finishing in fifth. Veyron, Hungarian driving from 6th on the grid, is probably the only driver to actually finish where he started, in fairness. 6th place for him, with No Limit, No EQL in 7th, with Silweaver in 8th, up 1 position. And PWW, the dude, in fairness, did not get a good Q2. He said he should have gone out earlier, and he's got himself in the points. P9 for him, with Duffy's in 10th. Luciano missing out post penalties in the end in 11th, with Crispy in 12th, Iron Fox in 13th, and Clips in 14th place. And of course, towards the back, Chout finishing in 15th place and 3 laps down on the leaders at the moment. Needs to find a little bit more pace as well. Fastest lap of the race in 1 minute 33s. Will need a little bit of improvement if he wants to find himself competitive in this field. Supply Raptor in 16th, Mers in 17th. Obviously, these drivers all DNFing, with Marie finishing in 18th in the pits, DRK finishing 19th, and Lord Gamer in 20th. All of these will not classify in those positions, though, for their DNF on their record. Nonetheless, a very, very intense race. It is. Big congratulations to Peronde. He's got his first race win under the belt. I think with that one, he's certainly going to be taking the Drivers' Championship lead as we head through next week to the Canadian Grand Prix. The host of such drivers such as Clips, he'll be wanting to do his best alongside all of the rest of the field, and I'll try my hardest to recover from this flu in the hope that that didn't disappoint your entertainment. We'll see you next week at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Bye-bye for now.